Hey folks, welcome to the brutal difficulty tutorial for Space Haven Alpha 13. Let's get started. Oh, that's loud. Here we go. Okay, so this is going to be brutal tutorial. Okay, and we want to start with a new scenario that they've introduced in Alpha 13, which is called a small hope. We're going to go ahead and create that. And I'm going to use all the standard settings this time. Let's take a look at our crew here. They redid the UI in the experimental branch. This is pretty interesting. Now they actually have color coding for all the skills. This is a brand new feature that I don't think is on the stable branch yet. I don't remember reading anything about it in the patch notes even. Let's go ahead and try to reroll. So we need, what skills do we need here? The essential skills, we have to have mining, we have to have industry, and we have to have botany. And we have to have weapons. We have to have at least 2 people that have weapons 3, I think, or weapons 2. Construction would also be good to have. I think everything else is less essential. Navigation is also fairly important. We also want to take a look at their surrender percent. This guy will not surrender. He's got bloodlust. Which he's a little bit slower worker, which is okay. He's immune to scared and panicked, which is really good. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have the skills that we want, so we're going to have to re-roll him. This is a really good spread. Overall, we have a weapons 2, person's good at construction, shielding. Unfortunately, construction isn't one of our highest priorities, so we're going to re-roll him too. This guy's good at industry and botany. Minus 10% surrender isn't bad. He has a weapons skill of 2, so I think this guy is a keeper. Landon, next we have a miner here with weapons 1, the Spacefarer trait, which is really good for accuracy because it negates the penalties for operating in a spacesuit. And then minus 20. I think I want to keep this person if we can. Let's also check out Michaela. I don't think we need 2 miners, so let's pick which one of these is the better and re-roll the other one. This person also has botany, weapons 1. I think the Spacefarer trait is really good. And Fast Learner doesn't do anything still in this version of the game. So we're going to re-roll Michaela. We want to get somebody with weapons 3. I think that's the first priority that we're looking for here. Here we go. Weapons 3, research is good. We have nobody who has the shielding skill, so we don't want that. We need to have at least some shielding skill, even if it's not optimal. This could be okay. So mining 2, construction 1, medical 1, weapons 3, gunner 3, ops 3. So we don't have a 3 in navigation, which is kind of okay. We don't have a 3 in research, which is kind of unfortunate. I think we're going to try for weapons and research. This person also has a psychopath, which makes him accident prone, which I don't like. So let's keep trying. So we're looking for weapons 3, research 3, and at least 1 in shielding. Okay. So we only have a 1 in navigation, which isn't great. This person has a high surrender chance. It'll take us a couple rolls because we're looking for a fairly specific combination here. But it's important to get our starting crew right. I don't think we can have a suicidal. In a normal, like a harsh, even up to harsh difficulty, I would take a suicidal crew member as long as they had good skills, because you can do things to manage their suicidal tendencies, like just giving them extra rest time and extra time to eat. But it's really tough to do in a brutal playthrough because we're so limited on our resources. So I don't think we can accept that. Let's see. Keep rolling. Here's a weapons 3, research 2. That's not terrible. This person has bloodlust, minus 50% surrender. They're also good at construction and industry. I like this guy. I think we're going to keep this guy. So let's jump in. And we're staying with all the default settings this time. So let's get started. So I think we already did kind of an overview of the Small Hope, the new ship here, but let's quickly review it. So we have the bridge up here. So everything's very inefficient, first of all. We have a lot of unused space kind of in these various compartments, which is kind of okay because it leaves us room to build. But a lot of it is in the industry section, which also has the shuttle bay. So we're going to have a very uncomfortable crew if they work in there for a long time. We also have these thermal regulators, the floor ones and not the wall ones. They're not a very good use of space, I think. And we have a bathroom that's in the bedroom area, which is going to create discomfort for our crew. So we're going to cue that to be moved out to here. And then we'll probably crunch in this wall so we can reclaim the space that's here. But we'll see about that in a second. We're going to make all 3 of these guys our away team. I forgot to check if all 3 of them had a good surrender chance. They're okay. Okay, thank goodness. All right. So who are our 2 fighters here? There are 2 weapons users. This guy's definitely one of them, Leilani. And the other one is going to be Una. Or is it going to be... Oh, that's tough. Do we want an extra point of weapon skill, or do we want the Spacefarer trait? I think we want the Spacefarer trait for accuracy. So these 2 are going to be our pistol users. We're going to draft them and send them over to inventory. Now, quick overview again of our resources. We have a couple hull blocks. We're probably going to end up trading some of those because we don't, we have enough hull to work with technically here. Hyperium, we're going to run out of very quickly. We're going to have to get more of that. Energium, we're also going to run out of pretty quickly. Water, we don't have a lot of. That's important for generating oxygen for our crew, even though we don't have grow beds yet. So we got to make sure that we don't run out of that. That's pretty important. And then we have a little bit of food for our crew here, which isn't gonna last us, probably just a couple days. We don't have many infra blocks, but we do have some. We don't have any tech blocks, which is the biggest obstacle that we face in the start of the game here. We have some resources that we're not going to use right away. The medical supplies, the energy cell. Potentially we could get rid of some of this space food if we had to. And we probably have more hull blocks than we need. So we're going to be looking to sell those and exchange them for resources, most likely tech blocks and another Hyperium crystal. We're going to want to get... Oh, no. So we can't start our hyperdrive yet because they haven't actually put fuel into the drives yet. We're going to let Una work on that, hopefully, while... let's actually cancel this until we've got the hyperdrives online. We want to get that as quickly as possible. Okay, so we have our 2 folks here next to storage. Very good. Now we can undraft them and let them do what they need to do, which is put fuel in the hyperdrive. So notice each hyperdrive has its own storage. Right now it's at 0 and it wants 1 crystal. There has to be at least a tiny fraction of a crystal in each drive in order for the ship to be able to operate. Oops. You don't need to be... Okay, let's also start our research. Now this is a tough decision. What's the first thing we want to research here? One of the earliest things that we're going to need is probably going to be... I mean, it's tough to say. We have a lot of options here. We definitely don't want to go for weapon system or ship systems first. We could go for the X1 generator, but we need a workbench for that. The first thing we should research actually is probably the workbench because we're gonna need that for sure. And then after that, I think we may want to work our way towards the hypersleep chamber for the inevitable time when we're gonna have to leave this sector. But we'll see how the timing works out. If we're able to get some research done earlier before we leave this section, then we may want to forego the cryosleep chamber. Okay. So as soon as I see this come up to... Okay, so we're stocking all the various devices here with energy and hyperfuel and water and so on. Okay, as soon as we have that, now we're ready to jump. So notice there's no resources in our starting sector because we're on brutal difficulty, so we have to immediately jump. We can't get anything more useful from here. Now that we got some of the essential stuff out of the way, I think I am going to go ahead and move the bathroom as soon as the crew's work schedule permits here. Okay, we have some research going on already. That's good to see. Okay, one of the ways that we're going to get resources... So notice... I was going to actually review the stuff that was on board our ship, and then I got sidetracked. So we have a single shuttle. We have, I think, a water purifier. Let's go take a look here real quick. As soon as we could drop out of hyperspace here, we'll look. Okay, so we have a single shuttle here. Sorry, we don't have a water purifier. We have 2 oxygen generators, so that's going to be fine for us for a while. We don't really need any additional life support. We have a tool facility, our generators back here, and a single hull stabilizer. We have a gas scrubber. We have the drives, obviously, storage, and the airlock. We have another gas scrubber over here. And then we have the crew compartment. We have a nice little kitchen here. And then we have our bridge, which also has the research facility. So that's a quick review of our ship's features here. We want to check out derelict ships early, but carefully. One of the things that we're missing from our ship is a mining pod. And in order to build a mining pod, we're going to need some tech blocks. Let's see. So the pod hangar itself takes 2 infra blocks, 1 tech block, and 1 hull block. So we're going to want to make sure we save some infra blocks for that. And we need to somehow get 1 tech block. Let's see if we can trade with the MAS Kraken here. If they have tech blocks, we'll probably take some. Okay, so we want to take 1 tech block here at least. This isn't the best price on energy cells, but well, it's not the worst. I think we're going to trade these for cash. We might also think about getting Hyperium. I think we're completely out of Hyperium, so we're actually able to move the ship still because, like I was starting to say before, we do have some crystals left in the drives. Do we? Maybe we don't. Maybe we need Hyperium in order to move. So we're gonna get that taken care of. So we're trading our 2 energy cells that we're not going to use for a Hyperium unit and a tech block. And then we're also going to trade them our medical supply that we can't use because we don't have a medical bay. And is there anything else that we want to give them or take from them? Obviously, we can only... I think we may want to get rid of our extra soft block, but we're going to hang on to that for the immediate moment here. The first thing I really want to do is get our... First thing I really want to do is get our, what do I want to say? Get our tech blocks online so we can get a mining pod. But in order to do that, we need to trade with these guys. But right now, our shuttle is going to be occupied by the derelict. If we're careful and we're lucky, we might get some really good starting resources here. The other thing we could think about doing early is a recycler. If we get enough resources from the derelict, we could think about trading for a couple more tech blocks and getting a recycler. So it's kind of like a toss-up. Do we want to have a recycler first, or do we want to have a mining pod first? Because they're both pretty valuable. They both can potentially give us a lot of resources, but neither of them, kind of gives us the complete picture. So we have to make a decision about which one works best for us. Since the recycler takes a lot of energy to use, and we don't have a lot of energy, I think it probably makes some sense for us to get the mining pod first, even though selling raw materials from mining is not the most efficient way to survive. We see a corpse on the ground here, bloodied. That's pretty gruesome. And let's carefully... So our 2 guys here with the pistols are these 2, and then let's have Una be our door opener. She's gonna be kind of our guinea pig here. Okay, we did see an alien, so we know that there are aliens on board. Okay, and they see us now. Una's gonna go open this door. This is kind of a short space, so... by the way, one thing I could maybe do to try to conserve power here is we could turn off this generator and just let the ship go dormant while we're not over there, because this is, everything here is just going to use idle power, and we're not really using any system on board the ship right now. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. Oop. Luna, don't get bitten. No, 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 no. Oh, boy. Oh, I chickened out. I thought he was going to come into this room. That's super rude. Okay. We're gonna open this door. Ooh, we found something. Hopefully it's credits and not a data log. Oh, data log. We're gonna open this as well, because it's in the line with where our guys already are. I think I saw a crawler out there. So we're gonna try to pull the crawler over to us. And this isn't our best positioning here. Let's have Una... So Una's going to be kind of like our tank. Okay. So she's just gonna stay there and... Perfect. So one of our guys got bit one time, I think, but that's not bad. I think that we just have an alien. We have an alien coming through there, so we're gonna have those two back up, and Una's gonna open that door. Okay, and yeah, sure enough, we do. Unfortunately, we have no areas without. Unfortunately, we have no areas with where there's like vacuum, except for this point here. So, which means that we can't really have nowhere to really like retreat to. There we go. Una's gonna have a little bit of penalties early on here from all these injuries. Hopefully, she doesn't get a chronic wound. So far, she's kind of okay. She's craving carbohydrates, which is weird because we still have food on board, but I guess they just haven't had a chance to eat yet. So that's okay. And let's open this. Okay, we're gonna have Una meet them over here, trying to speed things along so we don't use more oxygen than we have to. And Una's gonna have to walk back through here. We did see a bug back there, so let's take our time and act carefully here. There we go. And I think that should be it once we finish. Beautiful. Okay, we've explored the MAS Phoenix. Let's check our... Okay, so we get 3 corpses. That doesn't do us good immediately, but eventually it's going to be worth some water once we have composters online. We get a unit of plastic, which is really good. That's like 300 credits that we can sell. We get a unit of Hyperium, which is pretty good, because those cost 300 credits and we need those badly. We could salvage a bunch of scrap, but the only thing we could get from it right now would be the ability to sell it. So we're going to salvage as much scrap as we have time for, and we'll see where that gets us. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to turn the ship systems back on and let everything come back up to the way it was. It's going to take a minute for the power and everything, temperature to equalize. There we go. Okay, and even though we're in brutal difficulty, we can afford to fast forward a little bit. So you can see we did a lot of micromanaging of our away team there. That's super important when we have only 3 guys, because every injury is potentially a long-term injury, chronic injury, that we won't be able to get rid of without the aid of a med bay. So the first couple tips, about surviving brutal difficulty, you want to get out of the starting sector right away. You want to make sure that all your guys can fight, and that 2 of them have good weapon skills. You want to make sure that you trade as early as possible and get the essential resources that you need to keep your ship running. And you want to check out derelict ships to get resources. So that's going to be about it for today. I want to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you're watching on Twitch, don't forget to follow if you enjoyed this video, or if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. It's free. And I hope to see you next time. Take care.